What up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I am Jacqueline Joyce, and today we're going to talk a little bit about stuttering. Y'all already know the drill. Watch my other stuff. Okay, so I kind of wanted to go over the pros and cons of stuttering. I made this list, and I was like, okay, what are the good things and what are the bad things about it? And as I was going through it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a video because I think that my pros and cons are not the same as everyone else's, and so I would also love to hear other people's opinions, but also because I find that a lot of my cons were fueled by fear and imagination and thoughts that then became reality because I fed them over and over and over again. And so that was just a really big revelation for me. I also want to get back with you guys and let you know that I have been doing the CBD oil. I have noticed a little bit of a change. I'm not mad at that. I did take some a little bit before I started filming, so you guys are seeing the effects of it. I do feel calm and a little silly. Definitely not high. I'm from LA, so I know what being high feels like. CBD oil doesn't have any THC in it, and so that high feeling and whatnot you won't get. But I'm definitely like feeling really chill and not stuttering at the moment. We'll see, you know, I have a whole video to get some stutters out on, so let's crank this ish out. I stutter, clearly, but because you all religiously watch all my videos and commit them to memory, because that's what we do to my videos, right? That's like the running thing. No? Okay, all right, fine. But we all know that not all stutters are the same. I've said that a million times, right? Your stutter is made by the person who stutters. Because our psychological makeup basically dictates the way we stutter. Mine is highly situational, which maybe means I'm a little flaky, I don't know. But the severity depends on the situation I'm in and how much value I put on it. So say I'm in a job interview and I put all my eggs in this one basket, and if I don't get this one job, then my life will end. I will absolutely stutter severely on that interview because every egg that exists in this world is in this one basket, and I'm trying to tiptoe on like a high line and deliver it to the other side, and I've never tiptoed on a high line, and I've never carried a billion eggs, and they all end up falling down. And that's just kind of my all or nothing way of going about life, probably because I'm a Capricorn, but also because I have issues that I'm working through with the therapist. Leave me be. However, I talk about the hardships that come with stuttering all the time. And now we're going to talk more about why it sucks. No, we're going to talk about why it sucks a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the wonderful things that have come from stuttering. I'm definitely incredibly fluent right now, and it might be the CBD oil, just saying. Cons of stuttering. Introducing yourself sucks, meeting new people sucks, giving presentations sucks, the looks people give you after you stutter sucks. They're always like, family can suck. Hearing other people's unsolicited opinions about stuttering sucks. Most of what's horrible about stuttering is actually the time I spend creating horrible outcomes in my head. Most of what actually sucks about stuttering, I've noticed after I went through my list, and you know, I came up with a lot, but all of it, or most of it, was fueled by my imagination and my imagining of what would happen if I started in a certain situation, my imagining of what people would say, or what jobs I wouldn't get, or what people I wouldn't be able to meet, or what doors I couldn't get into. I once went to a Drake concert, and I was like in the very front row, and okay, you guys may not know this, I'm a Drake stan. I'm a Drake super stan. I love Drizzy. Loved him since like the comeback season. I know everyone is like, oh, I was there from Degrassi. Nobody loved Drake the way they loved Drake back in Degrassi days. I watched Degrassi too. I loved Drake after the comeback season, and then So Far Gone, I was done. It was, you could have all the panties. And I was at a Drake concert, and Drake was looking at me because I was in the front row because I got there early, and I was like, I'm gonna be right by the stage. And so he looked at me, he was like, what's your name? And I stuttered and I couldn't get it out, and the girl next to me yelled her name, and then she got like shine. Luckily, that happened twice, and I got it out the second time because I went to 2 concerts. And I waited in line for 2 concerts. Guys, this is crazy. But say you're in a situation like that, where it's like a once in a lifetime moment, and you can't get your name out, and so someone else steps in who doesn't stutter and is like, oh, it's me. And then you're just sort of like, no, this was my moment. So yeah. There are definitely moments when stuttering sucks. Stuttering super sucks sometimes. But then I started thinking about the pros. And I have this list of pros that I went through, and I'm like, kind of like, all right, you know what? I need to take these into consideration also when I think about my speech. So one pro that I found to be incredibly helpful is that you have a built-in community. I had a support group that I would go to all the time. We would do outings. I lived in New York for a good while, and some of the first people that I actually met and became friends with were people who stutter, because there was a support group for people who stutter. I worked at a theater for people who stutter. I was surrounded by people who stutter, and it was a built-in community. I've also had the opportunity to travel the world, meeting people who stutter, talking to therapists and parents of kids who stutter, and all of that sort of stuff. And so, it's sort of wherever you go, you can make that community. And that's definitely something that I really appreciate about this, impediment, is that we've made ourselves a community. You can go to the NSA conference, National Stuttering Association, and there's thousands of people who come for this one weekend, and we're all in this hotel, and we're all just speaking to each other and being patient. There we go. That's always something cool. And also, have you ever just been in public and you've heard someone stutter, and then you sort of look at them, and then they maybe hear you, and then they look at you, and then it's like one of those I see you, you see me. I cherish that moment, because that's a moment that not everyone can have. It's one of those little secret under the radar moments that only people in certain groups or people who have commonalities have. And so, booyah. Everyone wants to stutter. Have you ever talked to someone and said, oh, I stutter, and then they say, me too, or when I was a kid I used to, or blah, blah, blah. People want to connect somehow. I've absolutely had, when I've spoken to someone and I stuttered, and then I've disclosed, hey, I stutter, they say, oh, me too. And as much as I know that they don't stutter, knowing that they want to be this makes me feel a little bit better, and I will continue a conversation just because I'm like, okay, you're cool. I'll do this with you a little bit longer. At this point, I just take it as a compliment. Okay, you stutter, you stutter. Another pro that I have about stuttering is that I am an intentional speaker. I don't meander around looking for a point to make. I make the point. I know what point I'm gonna make. When I'm ready to speak, I say my piece, and then it's over. There are so many people who use a million unnecessary words when speaking, or they don't know exactly what they're saying, and so they'll just keep talking in circles until they figure it out, which is a luxury, I guess, but it's also quite annoying to have to follow someone as they zigzag around some point that they may never get to. I appreciate that being a stutter, I'm succinct, I'm intentional, I make my point, I'm clear, I know what I'm saying, and we're done. And because of that, I am a good communicator. You know how job descriptions are always good communicator? Just stuttering doesn't mean you're not a good communicator. There are tons of people who don't stutter who are awful communicators because they can't get to an end-all be-all because they're just talking, And so that's definitely one thing that I pride myself and I appreciate about myself, is that I can usually, with the least amount of words possible, I can get straight to the point, say what I need to say, and then let it be done. Another pro, and this is because I write scripts and films and whatnot, but my characters are succinct as well. I don't have monologues going down the page, more so because people don't speak that way, but also because you have to have characters with intent. They have to know what they want, and then they have to go for it, or else watching them gets boring. Like, there's very few monologues in shows. There's maybe one monologue in a 1 hour drama. And that monologue is saved for that one moment so we can learn that about this one character, and it's filled with emotion and plot and story. But that's one moment. I can't have characters just speaking willy-nilly all over the place. You want concise statements that lead from one story to the next, one point to the next, so that your story continues to flow on and on and on and on and on. So stuttering has definitely made me a better writer, and it helped me like not have to spend as much time learning how to create characters with wants, because I can do that naturally, because as a speaker, that's what I do anyway. Another pro, I teach my friends patience, and my friends tell me this all the time. They say, like, you know, talking with you or being your friend has really taught me how to just sort of like listen. And those are the people that you want around you. That's just the honest truth. The people that you want around you are the people who see your perceived flaw and then make it into a positive for both you and them. My friends are patient. I love my friends. I just have, like, your friends are your chosen family. And I really do have a great family that I surround myself with, who not only appreciate me for me, but I also think that they appreciate the fact that I do have this thing that they don't know other people who have it, or it's not something that they come encounter with a lot. It's a teaching moment. I can help them be more compassionate with other people. Like me teaching my friends about stuttering means that they'll go into the world, and if they meet other people who stutter, they'll know exactly what to do or what not. And I think a lot of the times what I would do is I would be afraid that certain people wouldn't want to be my friends, but like I had to let that go, and I just had to let the people that were my friends be my friends and appreciate those people. And those people became the people that I want in my life. Like, because the truth is, you don't want people who don't want you. Hallelujah. And that goes for everything. That goes for family, that goes for spouses, that goes for people you're dating, that definitely goes for friends, that goes for bosses and everything. So it's helped me be picky about the people I want in my life, and it's also helped me help my friends become better people. Well, there's so many pros. Yo, I'm going through these pros. I don't do unnecessary arguments. If I see people who are like, well, blah, 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 and there's like a circle of people who are just arguing about something, if it's unnecessary, or even if I have an opinion about it, I sort of just wait and hear out everyone's opinion. So it's made me a good listener, but it's also made me able to like weed out the conversations that I do and don't need to be a part of. I like to talk. You can probably tell by these videos. I didn't know that I liked to talk until I was able to talk. And so now that I know it, I have to be choosy about the conversations I get into. And this is sort of two-parter, because it's about the conversation in itself, if I want to like spend my time on that, but it's also about the people who are conversing. If there are people who are talking over each other and who don't let each other have time, and who are arguing to argue and not to listen and not to learn, I just bow out of it. Because it's not necessary, it's not good for me, it's also like a waste of time. Because if two people are talking to just talk, then there's no point in that conversation even happening. It's just kind of words going, it's like wasted words. And there's so many wasted words. If there was like a trash pile of words that we waste, it would be larger than the actual amount of trash we have in the ocean. There's a lot of trash in the ocean, y'all. There's like a lot of trash in the ocean. Thank God words aren't like piling up, because we waste so many of them. in the end, it keeps me from being one of those people who talk too much, which we're always like, God, that person talks a lot. I say that all the time about people, and I'm always trying to like edge out of a conversation with someone who's talking way too much. I'm like, okay. And an easy cop out of a conversation is I stutter and I'm having a really bad stutter day, so I just don't really want to talk. I use that a lot, actually. I think we should all use our stutter as an excuse to get out of talks, because especially if it's someone that you don't want to talk to. Now, I'm not saying use it to get out of like class presentations or so on and so on, but also don't spend your time thinking about how bad it'll be because you stutter, and use your stutter to get out of conversations that you don't want to have with people that you don't think are personally worth your time. I think we can flip this whole stutter thing into something that actually benefits us. And I have to figure it out mentally and create that new world, because that's sort of a world that we don't have. We know why there are cons. We know why it sucks. But I challenge you guys to think about why stuttering has made you a better person, what stuttering has contributed to in your life in a positive way, and let me know in the comment section, because I'm really interested in knowing, because this is kind of the lens that I want to flip my channel to. I also want to pursue it for myself, because I've lived for years thinking that stuttering was a detriment to me and my livelihood. And what if I flip that? What if all the energy that I put into the cons, I now put into the pros? So let's join each other on this journey. I think this is a damn good journey, guys. All right. Well, this was lovely. I'm done today, the end of this episode. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and also comment, because I'm interested to know more about you guys. I'm interested in your journey, because little do you guys know, your journey helps my journey. Your journey influences my journey. I love all of the messages I get. I reply to every comment. So just like talk to me, because I'm lonely. I'm not. I mean, there are moments when I feel loneliness, but don't we all? And that's when I open in my comment section. So leave me one. I promise to reply. You guys have a lovely day. Like, share, subscribe. Stutter beautifully. Mwah. Bye, guys.